Three awesome things that have me hyped and should have you hyped. Awesome news coming out of 49ers camp today. I can't wait to get into it right now. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content. Well, I'm pushing all my buttons here. I got a janky setup as I'm over here in Houston for work, but I'm excited to get into the stories today. Going to be an abbreviated version, so we're going to be moving through these things pretty quickly here, starting with the most obvious, exciting news. And if you already know about all this and you just want to skip ahead, jump ahead to the next part of the video, because I got Brandon Aiyuk, I've got player stuff, player updates, all sorts of good stuff. So starting with the local day, of course, the biggest news of the day for me, or the biggest excitement of the day for me, seeing everybody out on the field, seeing Robert Saleh especially walking around with Kyle Shanahan, talking to players, and seeing, of course, a bunch of players on the field wearing red and gold. Now, are these players that are going to play for the 49ers? Probably not many of them, but it's still exciting to see guys out on the training field, and we got updates around that too, by the way. We just got to just jump into it. So a bunch of different players out there. Cam Inman threw out a few guys that are draft day players, but don't forget about UDFAs. The 49ers love to bring in some UDFAs after the draft is over. So there's definitely an opportunity for a lot of the players that are out there today getting an opportunity to impress all of these coaches. It's so good to see them out there. Of course, if you didn't see this today, the 49ers are renovating one of their practice fields, the turf ones from like back in 2006, I want to say. I think that's what somebody was tweeting about that. Matt Barrows, maybe. Once the natural grass is in, they'll reorient the fields and it'll be 100 yards long. Used to be 80. So there you go. Boom. Love that. That's a nice little update there. It's comforting knowing that the two coaches leading the 49ers have proven track records of high-level success. That's something that can have you feeling hyped heading into, getting over the hump. It's Wednesday, getting toward the end of the work week here. Another thing that I'm hyped out came out of this article from Don Atkinson, 49ers Web Zone. Projection of early return of 49ers Brandon Aiyuk continues to gain traction. Just more positive vibes coming out of the Brandon Aiyuk injury camp or injury relief camp. He has since progressed nicely with his recovery, and the prevailing speculation within the league among those familiar with that type of injury seems now to be much more optimistic than it was just a month ago. More on that. Dr. Aiyuk Parikh said athletes typically aim to return from ACL injury within 9 to 12 months, and MCL injuries in conjunction with ACL repairs usually don't change the return to play timeline. This would put Aiyuk's week 1 return provided his recovery stays on track within that window. So that's exciting news. There's more out there too, by the way. There's every indication that things are indeed on that positive course with Aiyuk. Nobody's willing to make commitments on timelines toward week 1, of course, understandably so, but everything's trending in the right way. Aiyuk himself hasn't made any public statement on his injury return status. He has, however, been seen more in public in recent weeks, including a notable appearance at the Golden State Warriors basketball game, the game that they beat the Denver Nuggets for the first time in how long, right? So there you go. There's positive news coming out of the Brandon Aiyuk side of the camp, or at least the injury update, and then a 30 visit update. Guys like Tyleik Williams coming in or about to come in. I'm not 100% sure when that one is. And then Kyle Williams, another Williams, and a different Kyle Williams than you might be thinking about, wide receiver Kyle Williams coming in. And these guys, I'm going to talk about Tyleik Williams for a second. I mean, look what the 49ers are doing, though, as you start to look at these. I can't get my cursor on the screen. You see all these dudes down here. Okay, you've got 3 edge rushers. You've got 4 defensive tackles. You have an offensive tackle, offensive lineman, wide receiver, and 2 tight ends. The 49ers putting a heavy effort at the line right now. So, the way that this all plays out with players going and seeing other teams and all that, it's not super clear. We probably need to not be too hasty to say, the 49ers brought in tight ends before they brought in edge rushers. But for a while, they'd only brought in Harold Fanier Jr., and then they had brought in Jalen Conyers. That was the only other guy that they brought in for a while. It was just tight ends. And so it is good to see them really starting to shape up, showing kind of where these top 30 visits are, these guys that they're spending extra time. They want to get them in. They want to talk to them. They want to get to know them a little bit, make sure that there aren't any character concerns, things like that, because these are guys that the 49ers are very serious about wanting to draft in certain draft scenarios. Of course, we don't know what those draft scenarios are. We don't know how the 49ers are going to go about that. But let's talk about Tyleik Williams real quick. while I hold my phone here and my arm's getting tired. Let's see here. So this is from PFF. They give him an overall rank of 40. Williams is a compact and powerful interior defensive lineman who excels at holding the line of scrimmage. His lack of pass rush production makes the nose tackle his best projection, likely as a day 2 selection. But honestly, I'm not too worried about pass rush because we've seen guys like Javon Hargrave is a good example of a guy who's, his biggest value is the pass rush, and we need guys who can stop the run. Like, let's just be real. Like, that's what we need right now. And so I'm high on any defensive tackle that's a monster and is good at stopping the run, which is where Tyleik Williams shows out. This is where his strength is, in the run defense. And so I love a pick like this, especially a day 2 pick like this. I think there's a huge value there for the 49ers. Do they have to move up to get him? That'll all depend on what happens in day 1. But should the 49ers have the opportunity to pick him up at pick 40, 45, 43, something like that, then this would be a huge, awesome opportunity for the 49ers there. Okay, moving on further. Do I have anything else? Or is that it? Yeah, that's it, man. So draft day, 15 days away. Super hyped on that. I hope that you're feeling positive right now. I think all of this news in general is having me super hyped. Even in this janky setup in a hotel room, I'm stoked to be able to share some positive news with you as you guys head into the other side of your week. Peace out. Remember when people used to say that? I don't know. I got buttons all over the place doing all sorts of